How's it going, guys? So I was going to do a video on how to remove the driver's side fuel injectors on my 04 Outback EJ, but then I figured I'm too lazy to go pull it out because I think it's right around zero out and snow and shit. So I got to do that in my buddy's garage, so I'll do a video on that specific car later. But I figured I got an EJ fucking 2.5 sitting right here out of my Baja that I've been slowly working on. So basically on this one, as far as I can tell, it looks the same. So I already did injectors on that, but I didn't think I got one of the O-rings seated right, so I got to pull them again. But to get these out, you got your coolant tank that would sit right about here. Pull your coolant tank out, pull the battery, then you'll have access to these plug wires. I had to pull the plug wires to get them up out of the way, just to make room. And then this bracket in the car is a pain, just because of how many bolts there are. There's this one up front. There's the two down here, right here, that one. And then back here, you got, well, yeah, right here. I don't know what I'm doing. You got that one for the ground, and then you got another one that's snuck up under here somewhere. Right there. Goddamn, I'm off today, but so this bracket's pretty hard to get out of the way on the car itself. But once you get it out, then you have easy access to your injectors right here and your fuel rail. And if you need to replace this plastic line right here, it's pretty easy to get to. You just, if the last time it was replaced, they left the hose clamps upright. Otherwise, if you can't get to these hose clamps, honestly what I recommend doing is just cutting the line here and then just fighting these hose clamps off, because if they're down buried, I don't know how you're gonna get to them. They're a pain, but thankfully on this EJ, they're up pretty high. I mean, this hose is pretty fine. But then that runs hard line. Just want to make sure you check all your hard lines. It runs under the intake, so if you pop a hard line, you're probably gonna want to end it all. But otherwise, it's the same right here for this side as my 253. I think this is my Outback's got a 251. I think this is a 253. Not 100% sure. I'd have to check the tag. I haven't checked it on this one yet. But and then if you need to replace this rubber line, same dealie. Two hose clamps. I'd recommend undoing the bolt that holds this whole bracket on right here, because then you get a lot more wiggle room. I mean, I had to do that anyways to get my injectors in, so I just take that off anyways. But like I was saying, this one, if I have to replace that rubber line in the future, I'll just end up cutting that off and fighting it, because I don't know about you guys, but I can't get a screwdriver to get that undone through all this wiring, loom and stuff. So if you're trying to replace those, just fucking cut them. I mean, you got a little room right here and here. What I would do is I'd cut them, and then I'd get the pliers style hose clamps, put it on, lube up this side, push that side in, and then put this side in. I mean, those are gonna be way easier to get to just overall than these band clamps. I mean, you know, Japanese, they got small hands. I got little fucking meat hooks that I can't really get into these small spots. So if you gotta replace these rubber lines on either side, and you're not perfectly aligned like that, because like that I can get to pretty easy just from the top, I would just cut them. Try to cut those band clamps off with side cutters or something. Just cut them off, put new ones on. And to be honest, this one wouldn't be too hard, because you just gotta, if you get the shield off and you get to your injectors, once you get the shield off, if you take these injector clips off, you can pretty much undo this. You can pull that whole rail out of the way, and then you just gotta fight this little bastard. But there, I mean, I love Subaru engines. I got fucking 3 of them sitting in my garage right now, but there's just certain things that I end up doing just to save time in the future. Like this one, I had to replace the transmission on, so I had to pull, I pulled the engine and the transmission already. I pulled it separately because I thought I was gonna get lucky and it was just a bad clutch, but it wasn't. The whole transmission was seized up tight. So on this one, even though this is a strong running engine before it seized, and like the guy before me spent a lot of money on it, getting it right, I am going to throw our new clutch plate in, new friction disc, all that shit, because he roached the absolute hell out of the flywheel and clutch. He said he didn't drive it. He didn't try to drive it after it seized, but I don't know. It was pretty bad. And then one thing I always do, always do on these motors when I pull them, I always replace the timing belt and the components. I mean, most of the Subarus I buy are high mild ones that I don't really know the background. Like my 04, that one came from a police auction up north. I paid fucking $400 for it. Didn't run. Training lines were shot. So I mean, that one I have no idea on the timing belt. So that one I got to do a timing belt on. This one, it's only got 160-ish. It's in kilometers, so I'm doing a quick convert, but I figured it's good to go. This one at least had a tag on the fender, on the shock tower, I mean. It said it had a timing belt in the past, so I feel confident in this. Motor's going to be good for a while. And then I just got to stab this together and fucking put it all back in the car, and then get all the interior back together, get all the... I got to get new caster bolts for that because I had to torch them. Put new axles in because they got burnt with the torch, and this will be a project I'm going to do some videos on. I've always wanted a Baja. This one is not a very clean one, but if it runs, it runs, and it's a 5-speed, and these things are going crazy in value. This one's pretty beat up though, so this will be a cheap version when I sell it. So I'll be doing videos on that. You guys probably don't give a shit, but I will be doing it. On that, sled's getting sold today. That's why I'm moving shit around. My WRX, I'll be doing videos here probably in the winter, in the summer again once it gets nice. I don't have a heated garage, so it gets pretty chilly in this bad boy. Other projects I got going, I'll probably work on the Dodge again one summer because that thing lives outdoors, and here in North Dakota it gets a little chilly to be working outside for extended periods of time on hobby stuff. For work I'll do it, but hobby stuff, nah. My inhibition during the winter pretty much goes to zero unless it's fishing, so that'll be waiting. I also have an F350 I'm going to be putting, it's a 6-cylinder, so I'm going to put a 4-barrel on that one, get that ready going because I want that to be reliable, but this will be the main project for a while. And if you guys got any other questions on anything Subi related, I'm a fucking idiot, but I have worked on quite a few of these bad boys now. I've owned 3 wagons, a GL10 turbo. Still got the motor sitting over there somewhere. And yeah, I've done quite a few clutch jobs on these, training jobs. I mean, they're dirt simple, but it's so much easier if you get the motor out of the car. Once in the car, it can be a pain in the ass, but out of the car, simple.